Alright, y'all, I just need to know who the real bitch of the story is. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Astrea's Broken Heart, Season 1, Episode 4. Y'all, last episode was a whole ass messy mess. We decided to go into Raphael's bedroom and snoop around because he be giving us some shady vibes. And we weren't sure if he was the one that murdered that innocent woman who had in my eyes, demonic scar burned onto her chest. And now we're out here investigating maybe even demonic forces that we're actually working with, real demonic forces. So I'm actually intrigued. Like, I just need to know if they are like demons or like a higher power. But let's see. An individual's madness can be attributed to their own mind, but what if an entire village believes in the same curse? Oh well. Episode 4, The Cursed Village. Are we going to a village now? The morning at the agency began with an important announcement. All employees had to gather in the living room as soon as possible. David had brought the same message from the boss along with a cup of coffee and a sandwich. Oh, David, my dream guy. Y'all, you can never ever be completely awake without food. I'm telling you. And the boss himself isn't even here yet. It was extremely unusual to see almost all the mansion's inhabitants in one place. The others each picked their own corners of the room and were in no hurry to start a conversation. Are they afraid to say too much in front of me? Simona stole a glance at David, who was standing by the piano, and saw that he was watching her quite openly. What do you want, David? Can't you see that we're still pissed at you for the lack of compassion? I wish you'd sit next to me then. Oh, what? What did I say, y'all? Like, she's impulsive. She don't even mean when she mad. Raphael was looking thoughtfully at the garden, his arms folded across his chest. Always so sad. Not as actually examining everyone and having some, let's just say, daydream about them. I mean, I am playing them all. Simona suddenly caught his gaze in the reflection of the window. But not this man actually looking at the window and seeing us in the reflection, and he's staring at our reflection in the window. Simona glanced at Cassiel, who was seated at the other end of the sofa. I was right, she's actually looking at all of them. Disgruntled as usual. Feeling her gaze on him, he turned his head sharply and stared at her questioningly. So what if I'm looking at you? Period. Like you're fine AF. Of course I have the right. What? You got a problem with that? The deafening silence was broken by a rude voice. David. What, my dear friend? Did he really call her elevator? Come on, Cassiel. I know you remember my name. Love this. I actually do. He's like, are you sure that he actually said that she should be here? Come on, I know very well that you remember my name. I'm pretty sure that's everything you're moaning in the middle of the night. Period. What you doing? If we hold another meeting without the dear little witch, she will surely break her neck. Period. What you gonna do? I'm part of the squad now. Bear with me. What do you mean? Oh, he didn't know. Well, then that's even funnier. Yeah. Exactly what I said, Cassiel. Fortunately, the embarrassing subject was cut short when MIKAEL finally entered the living room. Honestly, I would have loved for him to evaluate, to just elaborate. Come on, tell him. Felonia rushed in after him, stopping beside him like his trusty right hand. Everyone is here. Good. David didn't move from his place and just sat down on a stool next to the piano. Raphael took a seat on the sofa. Let's begin. Standing in the middle of the room, MIKAEL looked around at everyone present with a heavy gaze. What now? As you already know, there was a murder at Charlotte's club yesterday, and we believe that this is not the work of a single killer but a group of people. A cult? Y'all, having secret crimes calling out to me again. His cold voice softened a little. Someone, unfortunately, I did not have the opportunity to come and see you earlier. No, you were trying to hide it from me. I'm sure the Savannah shocked you. Really? Confused by the boss's attention on her, Simona shook her head. I'm fine, thanks. MIKAEL was in no hurry to look away as if to make sure that she really was fine. I mean, the way I also said it, well, period. That's what your ugly ass gets. Glad to hear it. No, you ain't. If you have any questions, Simona, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, I'll ask my questions, don't worry. You have a lot to catch up on. You don't say. Wow, all I had to do was jump out of a window once, and now here are all of the answers. Bye. You can ask all of the questions. Okay, this isn't the first murder. Correct. And each of has a distinctive feature, a mark that the killer leaves on the corpses. And you're certain that there are multiple killers? Oh, certain. More than certain. They actually verified this. So how many people have already been murdered with these sort of marks on their bodies? We were even able to catch them at the scene of the crime several times. But they're much more willing to go straight to hell than to prison. Period. They immediately kill themselves. Okay. Until violent police are unable to stop these guys from killing themselves on the way to the station. Yeah. Like, that's what happens to bitches. They're like all bitches. The second that they have the feeling that they actually would, I don't know, come in a situation where they could be threatened with, like, exposing who they're working for or they're betraying their organization, they kill themselves, because actually staying alive and facing the wrath of the master of it all is a lot scarier than actually killing themselves. That's so dark. You can enjoy the force and show everyone how you do better. Enough. So, Simona. Nope. How's this murder related to our work? You mean, what is the mystical component to it? Yes. We don't know for sure. This is what we will have to find out with your help. But you know what the symbol means, right? Yes. And what does it mean? It's a sign of true evil. Oh God. It's the... I'm not sure if you call it like this in English too. The Satanists. Like those that are praying to Satan instead of God, you know? Them taking virgins to the graveyard at Halloween and killing them. And the people who leave it behind likely believe themselves to be part of it. You would think that just killing someone alone would be enough to become evil incarnate. I mean, I would like to know if these people are just mentally ill or if they really have some connection to that evil. That's an interesting train of thoughts. Nothing to do with what our character just said. Like, you would believe that they already, like, are evil incarnate just because they're capable to kill someone. But you know, there are things that are called self-defense. What is the killer's goal? There didn't seem to be any connection between the victims. There is none. The first murder we know of happened about 30 years ago. 30 years?! They've been doing this for 30 years? Back then they were more spontaneous in nature. For example, even random witnesses were attacked. Why haven't I heard anything about this? It went on for about a year. Things are different now. The serial killers changed their preferences? Their goal has changed and we must find out what happened 30 years ago. Alright. Okay, now let's hear what Felonia has to tell us. Simona was grateful for the chance to show that she was an important part of the team, even though she just arrived, I might add. But she had a feeling that everything she heard had been carefully curated. I'm sure you've already heard everything Valian has to say. The victim is the daughter of the owner of the Bioinfinity startup. The man convinced people that death was just a disease and a curable one at that. I've never heard of this. Oh, blah. Oh well, my apologies. I used CASSIEL's voice. My apologies.
And you won't. His activities were shut down 20 years ago, and he was imprisoned. The only real business they did was get investors to part with their money.
And this businessman was recently released?
Yes, how did you know that?
Emma said that she and her sister needed to go back home to their parents.
Anyway, if it wasn't for that symbol, I would have thought this was a case of revenge. It had to even imagine how many people out there want him or his loved one home.
It did.
But the mark is there, which means that's not the case. Or maybe there's more to it.
Someone remembered the box of photos. The file included a photo of a dead body found in a restaurant, and according to the records, the murder was recent. There's a second victim too, right?
There are 3 victims so far. The second one was an ordinary student. Neither he nor his family had enemies. The first was an orphan. He had just left the orphanage.
Yeah, it's hard to draw any connections. Maybe we shouldn't look for connections in the victims themselves. The victims knew each other. They were all in the wrong place at the wrong time. I doubt that. In my eyes, especially when it comes to serial killers, there is always a reason why they're doing this. I wouldn't look for the connection. Maybe it's about their environments. Try to find the parents of the guy from the orphanage.
You have the right idea, but we found information about his mother. She was a sex worker and involved in the trade, and she died of AIDS not long ago. The killer obviously knows what they want.
The
girl resisted. She did not go into the private room willingly.
She refused. She didn't want to be a sex worker, so she was forced. Damn the mental abuse on her.
All her nails were broken. We found scratches on the floor and even on the door. But the DNA test gave us nothing. We don't have the killer in our database. Okay, RAPHAEL, did you manage to learn anything? I'm afraid not. There are no traces on the pendant.
With a grimace, Valiant took the silver half of the heart from Raphael and stuffed it into a transparent evidence bag.
If there are no more questions, I suggest we get back to work. You will have to visit the village of Silent Grove. It's very small, remote, and religious.
David stood up and headed for the exit.
Without me, I need to go to court to extract compensation from the relator and the greedy wife. I will go in your stead.
Why?
To avoid conflict with the locals, I think the sight of a police car will make them friendlier.
The woman's face reflected a whole range of negative emotions. Well, bitch, better stay silent. You never mess with the bitches. Even David stopped in his tracks, curious to see what exactly this would turn into. She's obviously having a hard time with this.
Don't you think I've done enough already? It will never be enough, Elonia.
What the heck is going on? Everyone is doing their best. Everyone is working hard.
Only constant effort can attract his attention and make him believe that you deserve another chance.
What is all this BS coming to? In my eyes, they're all family members. All of them. They make part of the same family. And this man, again, he's like the oldest son. So he kind of is like the second father figure. And when someone disappoints their old daddy, he feels the need to actually add salt to the wound.
Vengeance, Elonia, no forgiveness. You're so harsh, Michael. And you're so carefree.
The heck? Simona felt the air around her heat up. Honestly, I would just get up. I would either like slam my fist on the table and I would be like, you do this bitch ass attitude like outside. Like, if you feel the need to actually be talking in riddles, then you do this outside. Like, I don't need to hear this. I don't need to be here when you're obviously trying to like exclude me from the conversation or the topic. If you don't want me to know and feel the need to talk in riddles, like, you leave. Because I sure as hell am not gonna just stand up. But Michael did not seem to notice the change and continued in the same cold and impartial manner.
Supposedly they're fantastic living in Silent Grove. Our client claims that she's in danger. That's the perfect opportunity for us to find out who it is they worship. And to help the woman. Of course. And to help the woman. The residents think she's a witch who has cursed their lands. I'll have to stop by the station.
Felonia managed to pull herself together and spoke in an even and calm voice.
Do you have anything to change into?
Is she talking to me? Simona didn't expect to be addressed and was at a loss for words.
A little witch only wears formal suits. Oh, and revealing dresses. If she wears those, these fanatics will immediately tie her to a stake.
Funny.
Come on, let's find you something suitable to wear. And to defend yourself with. Just don't be late.
MIKAEL. My god, he heavy. Without answering, Felonia walked through the exit. Honestly, me too.
Simona, in the village, stay close to CASSIEL and try not to get separated from the group.
I will get separated from the group just because, y'all, I feel the need to attract the attention of the biggest bitches. Fight me, okay? Just fight me. I feel the need. Because if I do something that they disagree with, I got their attention. Happens because they're bitches.
We don't know what the locals are capable of, so be careful.
I will. Is that concern or a standard for a while around here? I'll be careful. Not to smile, the fuck. At the door, David caught up to her. Huh?
And don't admit to anyone in the village that you're a witch either.
The fuck? I ain't a witch?
I'd have to burn down the whole village if you get captured.
Bye. Honestly, this is his way of saying that he's worried about us. I could read him. I can read him. I got it. And then he gently touched her hand with his fingers as he whispered,
I will think of you in court and miss you terribly.
That was his way of saying he's worried. And that he would love to do anything but to be in court. I appreciate this. I appreciate the fact that he couldn't hide that. I really do. I love this. And I like David a bit better now. Like even more than last episode. Make sure you don't lose. Grinning, David was the first to step out into the corridor. On an impulse, he wanted to turn around. What? Cassiel cast a strange glance at the hand that David had just... As if fighting some emotion, he clenched his jaw and turned to the window. He obsessed already with us? Did he notice? Two options. He either is jealous already, which in my eyes, I think that's not the case because, again, we just met. Or he's worried because he knows David. He knows the place that this man hangs out with. And maybe he's scared that this man could be leading us on and we would be getting our hopes up when at the end of the day, this man does not intend to actually put a ring on it. For some reason, goosebumps ran across her skin. Simona hurried after Felonia. I hope I don't irritate her as much as the guys do. Hey, now it's two women in this household, not only one. We will be looking after them. Police station. Felonia was lost in thought the whole way. What's eating away at her? She looks like a wild animal back into a corner. Felonia had her own office and high rank, judging by the awestruck faces of the police officers. So young and already a boss. I wonder how that happened. After rummaging through the desk drawers and taking out some papers, Felonia approached a white metal cabinet.
Choose what you like best. I need to clock in. You can change your clothes here. Don't worry, no one will come in.
As soon as Felonia closed the doors, Simona obediently started picking out clothes. I don't want to be burned at the stake today. Something like a police uniform would come in handy. Ooh, that's a nice outfit. Ooh, a true detective. Y'all, I like so many. You all know by now I'm in for the leather jacket, y'all. I feel like I just want to start because I'm not sure. Oh, my apologies. No! No! I still have time to style my hair before Felonia gets back. Now, y'all, I'm gonna I'm gonna repeat this. There's no way in hell. I'm going with this ugly ass outfit. I'm so fucking upset right now. That this bitch did not allow me to move back. Continue. Now I'm more likely to be mistaken for a witch hunter than a witch. Not sure what to do now that she was done, when I glanced around. On the wall behind the chair were photographs of people shaking Felonia's hand or presenting her with awards. Rescuing hostages, apprehending drug dealers and murderers. This woman is a real hero. Why does she keep all these clippings behind her back like she doesn't want to see them? Or like they don't mean anything to her? In each photograph, Felonia had the same expression, the face of a person fed up with life. Are you ready? Startled, Simona quickly turned around. Oh yeah, ready. Simona's curiosity about the photos did not escape Felonia's sharp eyes. Impressive. It's nothing to be proud of. I've done far more bad things in my life than good. Everyone has a fucked up life. Sooner or later, you find your footing. You found out who you want to be. And that's who you need to stick by. I hate when people aren't capable actually to appreciate the positivity that they give to the world. Sadly, life is filled with a lot more negative things than positive ones. And if you actually find the strength to actually fight against the current and continue giving in positive things instead of negative ones, which is the easier option, you're a hero. You should be proud. Obviously not wanting to continue the subject, Felonia came very close to Simona and leaned her hand against the table right next to her without even pausing. As for your defense, can you shoot? Can you really give a civilian a weapon? Only if you know how to use it and won't blow your leg off as soon as you pick it up. I've never even been to a shooting range. I see. Felonia gracefully reached across the table and pulled something small out of the drawer. In that case, here you go. Huh? A pepper spray, period. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm gonna repeat this because I want the other outfit. Give me a second. Yeah, I know I'm dramatic, but I had to. And look at this fine-ass outfit. Come on now, it's totally worth it. Thank you. You're welcome. You can use it if one of the agency guys bothers you. I'll keep that in mind, babe. You really don't get along with them, do you? Do you want to talk about that? The question sounded like a challenge. It seemed like Felonia didn't want to talk about it, but her pride wouldn't let her do it just like that. She seems awfully lonely. Aww. Let's be a good bitch. Let's talk about it. Ooh, nice one. It was difficult to believe that Felonia was really going to pour her heart out, but she actually seemed quite eager to do so. When you never get the feeling that someone cares about your emotions, then you eat it all in, and you grow used to people not giving a damn about you or your feelings, so you don't even think that someone out there will actually want to talk about you or your feelings or your trauma. But that doesn't mean that they don't want to. They will always be ready to talk about it. But they are just like me. When you have the feeling that no one gives a damn, you remain quiet about your problems. Because I'm not like a reality show. You get the soap opera from my pain. So if you give off the feeling that you don't give a damn about me, then I will remain quiet. I don't work with them of my own free will. I'm forced to. What are you talking about? They don't look like villains. Villains. Of course they're not villains, but they're not exactly heroes either. They have a mission and will go to any lengths necessary to complete it. You mean solving those murders? You could say that. And they will discard you just as easily as they would me, if either of us gets in their way. They should try doing that to me, babe. There's no way in hell I'm allowing that. I'm just gonna smack all of their asses like I'm just leaving, bye. And you're not like them.
No, I'm far worse. Are you going to ask me anything else, or are you ready to go?
Who knows when we'll be able to talk like this again. Suggest that you stick together. I will pick this choice with all of the love interest, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is a fact. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna romance her. Don't ask me why. I just feel like she is not really my cup of tea. Like, her personality. Because I feel like I do most of that. And since I'm already closed up enough as it is, I mean, I know that Malbonte was closed off and Dragan is closed off, but this is a different kind of closed off. Like, when I say closed off, I mean their emotions closed off. She never ever shows any emotion. Like, Dragan would be enraged when we say something. Like, he shows emotion when it comes to us. That shows that he cares, that he can control himself. She, on the other hand, she's showing personality traits that I do, like being completely detached from my emotions, not actually like trying to get too deep into them. Since fate brought us together at Astrea, why don't we become a team? No matter where you work, it's always reassuring to know that someone has your back. Felania did not respond immediately. She seemed to be considering how she could benefit from having a new colleague.
I won't lie. The fact that you live in the same house as them would work in my favor. You hear and see things that I can't find out for myself.
I'm offering friendship, not dubious favors.
And I'm not asking you to be my little spy. I'm saying that I'll be your ally. A friend who will always come to your aid. Anytime, no questions asked.
Aw, so she's a real one. Love that. That sounded good. Too good, even. So it was hard not to ask for clarification. And in return?
In return, I ask you to be honest with me.
I love this fucking story for always enhancing that. Just be fucking honest with me. Simona glanced again at the wall behind Felonia. No matter how this woman spoke of herself, the photographs spoke volumes more. To refuse the good graces of a person who had saved so many lives would be nothing short of stupid.
Please don't play games with me.
Oh. I feel like she's the bestie that I would want to save from herself, sort of. Like my little sister, if you understand what I mean. So much bitterness in her voice. Doesn't she deserve to be treated right? That! I think we can be friends. Ask her to teach you how to use a gun, please. Nice, the gun literally handed to us on a silver platter. I never thought I'd ask someone this, but since the opportunity has presented itself...
Do you want to learn how to shoot?
Pepper spray's good, no doubt. But it'd be nice if I could find it in myself to pull the trigger if it ever came to that.
A commendable desire. Unfortunately, we don't have the time for a proper lesson, but I can teach you a few things.
Felonia took her pistol out of its holster, casually flipped it over and handed it to Simona. Simona took it carefully, but the handle then almost dropped it. The small weapon proved to be unexpectedly heavy.
Hold it with both hands.
Ooh, y'all, not this actually being the outfit that I just exchanged for the one that I'm wearing now. Bye. Smoothly like a cat, Felonia walked behind Simona. Covering Simona's hands with hers, Felonia pressed her chest against Simona's back.
If you have to point a gun at someone, do it confidently.
For some reason, the unexpected closeness made Simona's knees weak. She is pretty. She closed her eyes and breathed in the pleasant scent of the policewoman's skin. Felonia's fingers were gentle, but there was a strength in them. She looked so small, but in her arms I feel terribly fragile. We are fragile. That's the fucking problem.
Don't tremble. Don't hesitate.
She whispered next to Simona's ear. Felonia's fingers squeezed tighter, helping to raise the evaluator's outstretched arms higher. Perhaps the officer's confidence was transmitted through her breath, where it tickled at Simona's skin, because the trembling faded until only the slight euphoria of feeling one's own strength remained. Simona imagined that the source of all her problems was right in front of her. Who would it be? My patient? The pastor of my parents' church? Unexpectedly, Simona smiled. Well done. Simona didn't see it, but she felt Felonia smiling back at her. You get on quickly. Her thumb slid over Simona's skin, guiding her thumb to just above the trigger. Simona felt a small lever. This is the safety. You'll need to release it if you want to shoot. Felonia pressed it until there was an audible click, then moved even closer. Simona felt the woman's chest press against her back, heaving slowly and steadily. And most importantly, don't be afraid to pull the trigger if you're in danger. Aww. Okay. Honestly, as beautiful and as romantic as this scene is playing out, I still feel like this is... I don't know why, don't ask me. Like, I keep on picking, like, in the new... like in the latest stories that are coming up, I keep on being like a bisexual queen. But this woman right here is giving me more like older sister / younger sister vibes. Like, we want to look out for one another. We want to be there. We want to be each other's safe space. Like, if you get what I mean. Like, she's not giving me love interest vibes, sort of. Felonia carefully released her hands from the pistol and pulled away, taking the pleasant warmth and inexplicable confidence with her. Thank you. A couple more lessons like this and you'll be able to blow anyone's brains out. That's reassuring. Especially in a zombie apocalypse. Ask her about her work. I can't with the different images we get to see. I can see that your career took off very fast. Do I look young for someone with her own office? Too young. And there's your proof that I walk over people. Damn! Sadly, that's the only way to actually get something in this lifetime. Sorry. The truth hurts, bitches. I don't think you pushed anyone aside. Maybe I'm sleeping with one of my bosses. I don't think so. You can also get high by actually working your ass off. No, that's not it either. Your colleagues look at you with respect. I'm assuming that's because of a very successful case. Yeah. One that launched your career. Simona slid her gaze over the wall again. All these cases were worthy of a newspaper headline, but this job position? Hardly. It's not on the wall. Very mysterious. Let's just say that when I need something, it can be very persuasive. So you just persuaded them to give you this post? I'm not buying that. I helped a very influential person. Safest careless son from bad company. Got my hands dirty and got this office as thanks. Earned the respect of my colleagues after the fact. And it took a while to do. I see. Expected to hear something more heroic. No, I'm perfectly fine with the truth. End conversation. I think I'm ready to go. Then let's go. We'll pick up our colleagues on the way and get this over with as quickly as possible. Silent Grove. The trip to the village took almost the entire day. The highway quickly turned into a bump path surrounded by dense forest. The branches kept scratching the roof, pressing in from both sides. It seemed as if the trees were trying to push the guests back in every possible way with their long, crooked fingers. You'd think we were thrilled to be here. It's a pretty nice place. The village really did look great, but the atmosphere was oppressive. The strays greeted them with a suspicious silence. Well, it seemed like all the locals hid in their houses when they saw the car coming. At least they know we're influential. Power makes people scared. That building over there looks like a cafe, or a store, or whatever it is they have here. Let's find out. You go, I'll look around. Now split up. The group moved forward. but they had barely made it to the door when the owner of the house came out to meet them. He was holding an impressive rifle. Nice.
Who are you? Put the gun away. Once again, who are you?
It's the fact that he dared to come out with the rifle.
You ask that one more time and we'll have to get better acquaintance at the police station.
Period.
We'll go as soon as we grab your permit.
Period. What? I wonder if Michael knows how persuasive these two are. If we leave, things will get worse for you. You need our help, not the other way around.
So how can you help me?
If they believe in witches, their problems must be pretty stereotypical. For example, we can solve issues of poor harvest and livestock morality.
So that's why you came. Are you going to put the witch in prison? That won't help. And what will? Burning her.
No one is accusing you of anything. Let's just help each other. Path of high reputation, period.
I'll tell you this, you can't help the village. We've managed this before and we will manage it again.
The fact that they just believe that they can just burn people that they assume to be witches when they're not doing shit. I don't think anyone will be worse off if we try.
Stubborn, alright. Look at my face, look at how grey I am. This filth sucks the life right out of us, steals our children.
Steals children?
He's talking about stillborns.
Raphael approached the man and the man's eyes filled with tears.
But how did you... I went to the cemetery. I'm sorry you all had to deal with this.
What kind of a thing?
My condolences.
Huh? The revelation seemed to sap all that was left of the man's strength. He waved his hand off to the side and tried to quietly wipe away his tears.
That abomination lives over there on the outskirts. Her grandmother was a witch, but she died 20 years ago. We were glad that all her offerings left the village, but no, one snake had to slither back and poison us. We will help you.
The man stared at Raphael in disbelief and suddenly gave up the last of his resistance. For some reason, the melancholy Raphael had a positive effect on him. When you are at your wits' ends, you want/you need to see sympathy. You want someone that is actually capable to understand where you're coming from. You don't want to be viewed as crazy. You don't want to be viewed as ridiculous. You want to have the feeling that your feelings matter. Because when you arrive at the bottom of a black hole, you are selfish. You can't think about anyone else anymore. You become selfish because your pain is that powerful that it literally clouds out everything you've obtained up until this point. You won't be capable to think straight. You won't be capable to think about anything but yourself until you are finally clear in the head. That's what happens.
Are you hungry or thirsty? Can we have some water, please? Well, yeah, I'll bring some out. I won't invite you into my house. My wife is very ill.
As soon as the man disappeared through the door, Philonia turned to Raphael.
How many graves were there? Plenty, but not all the days coincident with the arrival of a witch. Her grandmother lived here. No wonder she was made a scapegoat as soon as she returned.
If the local belief in witches is passed down from generation to generation, then mass hysteria may also be a distinctive characteristic of the locals.
All his symptoms are just a figment of his imagination.
You'd be surprised how much a person can see, hear, or feel if they believe in it enough. Partially we are right, but this can also be like a delusion. When you are that convinced about something, you can actually push mountains. Like, it all has to do with the mind. Your mind is powerful. If you actually have to believing that if you do this, this, and that, then all of your problems go away. Hope pushes you to do the unthinkable in order for you to get some peace of mind. Psychogenic symptoms are as real as any other. For example, in Jordan, in 1983, the media spread a rumor about mass cases of gas poisoning. Hundreds of people suffered from headaches, stomach cramps, dizziness, and nausea. But when some of the patients underwent full examination, no traces of poisons were found. Then the symptoms began to disappear even in those who did not undergo the examination.
But the children, he obviously did die.
Just imagine the stress someone might be under if she believes that a witch can reach into her womb and kill her child. She didn't take care of herself.
How do you go?
Still holding the rifle in one hand, the man offered them some bottles. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Suddenly the man raised his gun. Simona didn't even get the chance to realize what was happening before CASSIEL's broad back appeared in front of her. The fuck is going on? He wanted to shoot me?
There is your witch. Go talk to her yourself. I won't let her come close to the house.
A frail-looking woman had been walking toward them, but stopped when she noticed the gun.
Go back to your wife.
The man slowly backed away and disappeared into the darkness of his own house. It's a good thing he didn't trip and accidentally blow his brains out. They would have blamed it on the witch later, too. They already believe that everything negative that is happening in this fucking town is the witch's fault. So even if he would have died, they would have blamed it on the witch. And even if he wouldn't have died and someone else would, they would have blamed it on the witch. They're using her as a scapegoat. That's what happens when you are a scapegoat. No matter what happens around you, to put an example in here, your children lose the man that they love. It's the witch's fault. There is a hurricane coming your way. It's the witch's fault. She'd be doing that. Like, it's always the witch. It's always the scapegoat that's at fault. She didn't dare come closer. They've really scared her, the poor thing.
You're right, aren't you?
The woman acted as though she could run away at any moment. Oh, she's so cute.
Yes, thank you for coming. Despite what that man tells you, I'm not guilty of anything.
We know? I only have one question for you. Why go back to a place where they want to hurt you?
Because of Pavel, my grandmother.
Her frightened eyes filled with tears.
She was so wonderful, you know. She always helped people and it backfired on her.
What do you mean?
She loved nature too much. She knew the name of every plant and would wander through the forest for hours.
Is that why people called her a witch?
Silent Grove is a very devout place, but in the beginning the residents would come to us for medical herbs. And then at some point people started getting sick, and everyone decided that Pavel had to be a witch.
Do you think she was killed?
I don't know. I was still a child when we left. Mom woke me up in the middle of the night and said that grandmother would join us later.
So why did you decide to return?
After Mom died, Pavel started coming to me in my dreams. I see her every night, and I suspect that Mom saw her in her dreams too.
Does your grandmother speak to you in your dreams?
No, she howls.
Howls?
Yes, as if in pain. She just howls.
Great. So technically she's a weasel. She's coming into her dream because she's having a connection to her granddaughter. And she howls out in pain because that's how she truly feels on the inside. As in, that's what happened to her. That's how she went down. Because if her grandmother is dead.
I feel like I have to find her and give her a proper burial.
She spent so many years trying to figure out what happened here. And her imagination painted a terrible picture. You feel guilty. You feel like you abandoned your grandmother. I suspected you blamed your mother for that. When she died, you shifted that blame to yourself. But this is not your burden, Rada. I'm sure your mother had reasons for doing what she did. And if you were in danger, your grandmother herself would not have let you stay.
I have to find the remains. They're the key to everything.
The dead don't come back, Rada. Because they don't go anywhere. They're always with you, in your heart. You need to learn to live with them, not find a way to get rid of them. Pursing her lips, Rada remained silent. Simona turned to her companions and noticed that CASSIEL was giving her a strange look. Uh-huh. Feeling something.
I'm not punishing myself. I'm not crazy.
No, girl, this has nothing to do with you being crazy. You feel that you weren't given the proper closure. You feel like you abandoned your grandmother in her time of need. But your mother, no, not the mother, the grandmother. The grandmother did not allow you to remain by her side because she knew that if you remained there, then that means you would have decided to stick with the witch. And the witch back in the day was being hunted down. So in order to protect her daughter and her grandmother, and her granddaughter, she decided that she was gonna be the necessary evil. They burned her at the stake, maybe. And that's how she went out, dying in pain and agony. Maybe she did have like a past of magic. That's why she's capable to be in their dreams. And she was never really capable to find peace because she did die. She died protecting them, but she never knew what came out for her daughter and her granddaughter. And her grandmother needs closure, like to know that they are fine, that everything went according to plan and everything. Like, you get the picture. And Radha is not crazy for wanting to find the remains and like to give her a proper burial. She has the feeling that this is what her grandmother deserves. And the guilt is eating at her that she wasn't there when her grandmother died. She wasn't there to make her grandmother see that there were people out there that truly loved her and would have remained by her side no matter what happens. And she feels that her grandmother has been wronged the entire time, and that burial would actually be some sort of redemption for Radha and her mother, because in her eyes they should have been there for her, but they weren't. So she feels if she gives her grandmother the proper burial, she will have put her grandmother to rest.
You're trying to a place where everyone is trying to kill you. It looks like a punishment to me.
Maybe she's trying to make everyone nervous to the point where she gets the feeling, sets the feeling in them that she's a danger and she needs to be taken down. He's on my side? Incredible.
Help me find her, please.
Oh, how are we supposed to find remains that are around 2 decades old? Check the cemetery. What if she stayed behind in Salon Grove, then died of natural causes and was buried here?
When I returned to the village, the first thing I did was go to the cemetery and to look for her grave, but those people accused me of witchcraft. They decided that I was trying to summon demons and God knows what else.
It was them. The grandmother's grave is not in the cemetery, nor are there any unmarked graves beyond it.
Have you ever seen the symbol?
CASSIEL handed her a picture of the brand redrawn and copied from a corpse.
Maybe it was carved on a tree, painted on a wall somewhere, or in the church.
Frowning, Radha shook her head.
No, in this place you can only wear a cross. Why do you ask?
Ignoring the question, CASSIEL turned to Felonia.
Your move.
Is that it?
Can RAPHAEL at least hold their Bible in his hands? There are no traces here. I checked. Look for the bones, Felonia. We have until sunset. No matter how your grandmother died, finding her remains will be extremely difficult. She could be buried under the floorboards of any basement or in any garden. We don't have the grounds to break into houses and search every barn.
Radha rapidly turned pale and began to tremble. Who talks to people like that? She's going to have a breakdown. The answer to the question seems to be right in front of us, but I don't see it. Think out loud. Radha, did your grandmother have many enemies?
Are you kidding? The whole village hated her.
But you said that your grandmother's hobby was treated normally at first. Think back to the time when everything was good. When your grandmother walked through the forest, brought some home plants, and told you about their medicinal properties. Immersed in pleasant memories, Radha stopped trembling and a faint hint of a smile appeared on her face.
It was such a wonderful time. Back then we believed that everything would be all right. Mom got a job at a new factory. She even managed to get in advance. She was so happy. She said that she could support us without the help of my father, who didn't even want to know about me. And then people started getting sick, and our fragile happiness collapsed. Mom was immediately fired, and we struggled to make ends meet again. Your mother was fired because of your grandmother? The director of the factory turned out to be the most unspoken witch hunter. He shouted the loudest that my grandmother was conducting rituals on his property, that he caught her doing strange things so many times, but she just went to his forest even though my mother asked her time and time again to go and collect her plants elsewhere.
This could be interesting. I think we should talk to him.
Makes sense. Start with the first person to make the accusation. Right, Simona, sounds like a good chance to get out of here before sundown. Well, you can be useful sometimes instead of just causing problems. Where can we find this director? The factory hasn't been producing as much as it used to for a while now, but it's still operational, though the area has been sealed off. That's not a problem. We'll open it. Show us the way.
Nice one. In the afternoon, the sun's heat became merciless. The men gallantly offered their water bottles to the women. Oh, gentlemen, all of them. And Simona did not object. Yeah, that's very different to sitting in an office. I hope it won't take us long to find the factory's owner.
How much further?
Felonia didn't look tired, but it was obvious that she wanted to get this over with as soon as possible.
If I remember correctly, we're about halfway there.
Only half? Me! I hate walking. I really do. How are the others so fine with this? I would have collapsed to the ground. You walk without me. There's no way in hell that you're getting me to do something.
Oh, you're holding up. Need a rest?
No, I'm fine. Yes, I need like 1 billion hours of sleep. Raphael's concerned expression gave her strength. Aw, he's so cute when he's worrying about me, period. That was so cute. She wouldn't call herself an athlete, but she always figured she could handle a long trek through the woods. I'm completely exhausted. How's that possible? The backs of Rada and Felonia were getting further and further away. The women were animatedly discussing something and Raphael joined their conversation. I can't lag behind. A security post loomed ahead from which a tall man emerged. Looks friendly enough. CASSIEL suddenly put an arm out, causing Simona to bump into it.
Stay here. It may be armed.
As if.
Are you that eager to get shot?
Yes. Makes you worry about me more, baby. Unless you start talking, he might not be inclined to shoot us. Son, it's your mouth that's getting us killed all the damn time. That's what I'm saying. Period, though. I'm sorry, but I love the outfit that I gave her. And the hair, it's beautiful. I love this. God. Okay. As we can see, I'm a fashion freak. Fight me. Unless you start talking, he might not be inclined to shoot us at all. Negotiation isn't your strong suit. Damn! Cassiel was silent as he tried to come up with a witty response, but his thoughts were interrupted by Felonia's shout. Honestly, this is hilarious. This is the nature of our relationship with Cassiel, y'all. We bicker. Meanwhile, we have David, that is seducing / provoking our ass. And then we have MIKAEL that is sassing his way into our lives. And we have on the other side Raphael who's cuting his way into our lives. I love the different color palette, y'all.
Where did you guys stop? Alright, let's go. Just stay behind me. That's why MIKAEL hired you after all. To better understand what's going on in people's heads.
Yeah, because you guys can't. The elderly man waited for the guests to approach before speaking in a confused voice.
You do realize that you are trespassing on private property? As we know, we are looking for the owner of the factory. You found him?
Oh?
Otto Vines. How can I help you?
We're looking for a woman named Baval. She lived here about 20 years ago.
Baval? I don't think I know that name. Really? Baval's granddaughter thinks otherwise. Granddaughter?
Otto looked at Rada and shrugged.
I'm old enough to forget where my shoes are, you know. You expect me to remember people's names. You accused this woman of witchcraft, fired her daughter, and then persecuted her entire family. Maybe that will jog your memory.
Ooh! The man smiled and spread his arms.
Well, we did have one witch, but she left a long time ago.
And the fact he's grinning about this man is hiding everything. He's trying to pretend. Not with me, my good sis.
That's the way for village. If I'm to blame, then no more than anyone else.
It seems talkative enough if we ask him the right questions. Ask about the factory. If I may ask, what do you produce?
I'm in the chemical industry. We used to produce on a huge scale, but now things are going very poorly.
So poorly that you have to man the guardhouse yourself? Or the smile grew wider and more unnatural?
No, I forgot.
Are you replacing him?
I'm recruiting my guests.
And how did you know that we're here? Very curious. Reputation?
No, if that really is Pavel's granddaughter, I wouldn't bother with her if I were you. As you stand next to her, she's sapping you out of your strength. Don't you feel it? I wouldn't be surprised if she's not the granddaughter but Pavel herself, rejuvenated from bathing in the blood of infants.
The fuck? What a load of nonsense!
You don't know what happened to her. I'm telling you, she moved away. The locals believe she died. Maybe that's what they want to believe. But do witches die so easily?
The fuck? All of them always believing that a witch needs to be burned at the stake.
Did you see her leave? Be honest, I didn't see her off.
Simona felt like the trees above them were closing in. It's like the forest is leaning in to listen to the conversation. Simona looked up and was surprised to see that the thick branches were slowly spinning.
We would like to see the places Pavel frequented. Do you have a warrant? If I wish to pass, will you be able to stop me?
No, he won't, because he's a very old motherfucker. Like we just smacked the shit out of him. Done. The smile disappeared from the man's face. What you gonna do, bitch? What you gonna do? You know how many people we are? These are bitches. They know how to fight.
You won't go far.
Are you sure?
I'll get you a warrant. And very soon, you can wait for us at your booth.
Simona closed her eyes and tried to concentrate. I can't be as suggestible as the people of this damn village. I'm fine. Simona took a slow breath and followed the others deeper into the forest.
He's hiding something, isn't he? Of course he is. He pretends to be an old man suffering from memory issues while he runs a factory, as if the locals would report what is going on in the village to a senile old man. Do they report to him? Who else would he know that we were coming to visit him?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. How would he know that we were there? He said I was here to greet my visitors. How did you know?
Are we going to get a warrant now? Of course not.
Frustrated, Felonia kicked a nearby pebble and pursed her lips.
Rather, can you show us the place where your mother visited most often?
I think so. She loved to collect plants from the stream next to the factory and from the old elm tree.
Then I suggest we split up.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
We don't have any other options.
Rada carefully examined her companions with an almost appraising eye.
Felonia, you're a police officer, aren't you? Can I come with you?
Okay, you'll come with me to the stream. Simona, you'll go with the guys to the elm tree.
What for? Not really. Go right to go around Otto. Then after about 600 feet, go straight. You will eventually see the metal fence connecting to a concrete one. You can't miss it. The tree is right behind it.
Without saying goodbye, Felonia followed Rada into the thick bushes. The men were in no hurry to leave. After exchanging glances, they stared at their ashen-faced colleague.
Are you sure you're okay?
Swallowing, Simona placed a trembling hand on her forehead. I'm alright, just a little overheated.
Unbelievable. Do you need to be protected from the sun as well?
Aw, you no-good son of a bitch. He's grinning, so I automatically grinned as well. I fucking hate it. I'm such a wimp. I'm such a simp. Protect me from your comments instead. They only make me feel worse. Regretting showing any weakness at all, Simona pursed her lips and walked past CASSIEL. Let's go. But she couldn't get past Raphael. He stopped her and took her hand. This man, he's such a cutie pie.
Let me examine you.
Oh. Should I let him do it? Of course we're gonna allow him to do it. Let him do what he wants to do with us. Like, I'm fine, I'm available. Alright. Raphael, always so gentle, suddenly lifted her face by the chin without embarrassment. He leaned in so close that for a moment Simona was afraid he was going to kiss her, but he just looked carefully into her eyes. They were so green. She felt like the world was floating around her as she fell onto soft grass. She wanted to bury herself deeper in it, to stop this dizziness, to hide in the embrace of his soft, caring hands. Y'all, the other two bitches are still here. Without breaking eye contact, Raphael discreetly caressed her chin. I always love when we are breaking the fourth wall. We are like having a romantic moment, maybe even making out. Well, I don't know, like sharing some kind of proximity that would be leading to, having sex. And we don't give a damn that there are other people like around us, like seeing the entire scene. No embarrassment from us, y'all. Simona closed her eyes and lifted her chin higher, baring her neck like a cat. Thin fingers slid toward the carotid artery and pressed down gently. Her heartbeat quickened. If all doctors were like this, I'd be more excited about my checkups. Me. Counting the beats, Simona begged her pulse to slow down, to let the soft touch linger on her skin. She felt that even if her heart stopped now, she wouldn't mind. Very strange thoughts began to creep into her head. She wanted to cover his hand with her own, to touch his face and let her hands run free. We said we want to grab this man's ass. We want to grab his dick. I don't know, maybe even allowing our hands like to slowly wander over this man's shoulder, then over his breast, then over his abdominal muscles. Like we said, we want to grab it all. We want to have a taste. It was simply unbearable to keep them still. My neck has never been squeezed so gently. Squeezed gently! Y'all, we said we want our man to control our breath. We want to have our man control our breath in the bedroom. God damn. Because there is no way she's not saying this comment out of context, y'all. Lie to me. There is no way you're saying it like this without you actually wanting your partner like to gently strangle you when you are having sex. There's no way you would be saying this. Simona couldn't help but think of the feelings that Raphael was bottling up inside. So reserved, people like that tend to explode. It depends. I mean, partially she has a point. Like, people like Raphael have the tendency to bottle up everything inside, feeling that they are a burden for the people around them. They don't want to be heard by someone that they let in, tell them that they are exaggerating or that they're too sensitive, that they need to become stronger and everything. Like, you all get the tea. And people like that tend to neglect their own feelings then. So they would become extremely reserved and turn only to themselves for support because they know that they will have no one by their side like to actually look out for them. The man's character aroused a passionate interest in her. She really wanted to find the limits and see what happened when Raphael crossed them. She said she wants to actually make this man lose control. Period. You must have a lot of passion. Bye! Not her actually saying the quiet one is the most passionate one in bed. I mean, to a degree, she right. There are men, in general, not just men, in general. Like, when you keep everything bottled up, sooner or later you learn to control your outbursts, your emotions. You only allow people to see what you want them to see about your personality and your feelings. So that means that you have actually control over what actually escapes from you. And then there is like this one person that manages to get under your skin to that point where they actually make you lose control. They make you not be capable to actually control your emotions anymore. because they actually become a trigger for you. They trigger your heart. They hold your heart hostage, sort of. And because they actually have your heart for themselves, you can't escape from their grip. And that means that they are very reserved, holding everything in, like they are controlled. And you are extremely passionate, as in rough in bed. Normally, which is the truth, when you are silent, when you are controlled, calm, collected, because you have learned to actually control every part of you. And when then arrives the moment where you can't control it anymore, all the time that you have been controlling your emotions when you shouldn't have, because it's not normal for you to actually be capable to actually control every single emotion you have, you actually lose control and you actually become sort of like a wild animal, if you guys get my idea. Anger, and God knows what other interesting emotions. Desire, arousal, yes, happens. Without meaning to, Simone imagined his fingers squeezing her neck in a completely different way. What did I say? I regret nothing. Like, it's the silent ones the most, though. The ones that are calm, controlled. They know how to control themselves, and they rarely allow, like, passion, anything, like, to actually sway them, like to confuse them, to actually bring them out of balance. And when they then actually come across someone that is actually capable to get under the skin and make them actually lose control, that's when they actually are not capable to control themselves anymore and they pounce on you. Like this passionate, lustful love, filled with adventure, desire, like you all get the tea. In that severe and lonely room of yours, bye! An explosion of feeling surrounded by those dull walls. I wonder how you'll write about this in your journaling. She already having it all figured out in her head.
Your pupils are dilated, and your pulse is racing.
You don't say! Raphael eased the pressure but did not remove his hand. Instead, he put his thumb on her chin.
Are you feeling dizzy?
A little bit. Because you're standing so close to me, bitch. Raphael carefully tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear and placed a cool palm on her forehead. This man does not actually... this man, he can't read between the lines, can he? He knows that the reason that we are actually having like those redness in our cheeks, and the fact that we're stumbling, the fact that our heartbeat is racing, is because this man is so close to us.
You seem to have a fever.
No, we do not have a fever. Honestly, the situation is so funny to me. Because someone that is extremely innocent, they be doing all of this. And the people that know better, they be like, my God, are you fucking stupid? I'm not sick. I do not have a fever. You turn me on.
Is there any ringing in your ears?
His whispers seem to drown out all other sounds. I can only hear you. No, nothing like that.
Maybe she really did overheat in the sun.
It's hard for Raphael to tear himself away from you. Please, remain by my side. I'm begging you. The allure of the moment was interrupted by a grumpy voice. Period. Cassiel did not. Cassiel is not fucking playing.
Raphael, stop pretending to be a doctor. I can see from here that she's not dying. There's no need to fawn over her.
I feel like this is like a mixture in Cassiel's eyes. Like from one side he don't like that all of these men are like falling all over us while he's developing like a small little crush himself. Because again, it's when someone is bickering with you the entire time. Like we show our love through bickering. If I don't talk badly to you, like if I don't try to get under your skin, if I don't try to get you upset, if I don't try to get a reaction out of you, I don't like you. That's how things work in this household. So, from one side, it's that, and from the other side, this man does not understand why everyone is, like, trying to pamper us. It's not like we're little babies. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. And I feel like from one side, this is also, like, CASSIEL being prideful. Like, he's too proud to actually be like, oh no, that poor thing. I warned her. I told her. She said she could handle it. Now she should show that she can handle it. Like, this was her responsibility now. Tearing her gaze away from Raphael, Simona recalled an embarrassment. It's not like I did anything wrong, though. Cassio shot a glare at Raphael, but that didn't bother the appraiser at all.
She's not feeling well. I'll walk her to the car.
I can do that myself. My goodness! Oh my god! Ignoring the counter offer, Cassio turned to Simona.
Do you want me to take you to the car?
Motherfucker! Oh, yeah. I did already fall into the deep end myself, y'all. Can someone smack me? Someone smack me, because I never learned. Y'all, how did we come from being just for one guy, then playing with 2, and now playing with 4 or 5 love interests? What happened to me, y'all? I became a greedy motherfucking bitch, and it's all your fault. You be tempting me. You be provoking me to do the unthinkable, and now I'm the one actually losing. There was no discontent or anger in his voice. Instead, there was something like painful melancholy. Feeling awkward, Simona rushed to defuse the situation. No need to take me anywhere. I'm fine.
Let's move. The sun will be setting soon.
Raphael walked beside Simona, period. He said he's not leaving our side. He didn't ask her any more questions or give her any worried looks, for which she was very grateful. I don't want to be dead weight to the team. It doesn't matter. You see that they are really worried about you. They do not care. The closer they got to the factory, the bleaker the forest around them became. Every now and then, Simona saw the factory workers trash all around them. Some plastic wrappers, barrels of waste. No wonder there are no animals in this forest. At some point, she realized that she was actually starting to feel a little better. Her strength had almost completely recovered. I started to feel better right after Rada left. Is she actually capable to suck our energy dry? I think we should look for, Thelian. It was ridiculous to even think about, but the thoughts came into her head without regard for logic or reason. Is she an energy vampire? What? But she didn't even come close to overstepping my boundaries. We haven't even really interacted. Y'all, what is the story coming to? Is this like a fantasy story now or not? Lost in thought, Simona did not notice that they had reached a concrete fence. It wasn't the highest fence in the world, but at that moment it felt insurmountable. Why wasn't there a minimum fitness requirement in this job listing?
Don't worry, we'll help you out. It's good that the fence is just made of concrete and has no additional security measures, although that does raise questions about its usefulness.
It doesn't look too tall. Maybe if we find some kind of lock I could climb over?
We could roll a barrel over. Or we could stop wasting time and I could just lift her up.
Just lift her? Alright, do it. At this point I would be like, do it. Do it. If you think you're so fucking strong, if you think you can do anything you want, by all means, baby. Lift me. But grab my ass cheeks, okay? Not my feet. Cassio grabbed the edge of the fence and slowly pulled himself up. His already impressive muscles tensed, stretching the fabric of his shirt. Unlike Raphael, who climbed over the fence quickly and easily, all of Cassio's movements were deliberately leisurely. It allowed her to thoroughly admire the muscles of his beautiful body. Is he showing off? He can do it. He does the exact same thing that we said a few episodes ago. You can look, but you can't touch.
Are you coming?
Cassio held out his hand impatiently and sat down on the edge of the fence. Yes, I'm on my way. Simona snapped out of it and approached him, trying to figure out what she was supposed to do. But the man literally took matters into his own hands. The moment Cassio leaned over, Simona stood on her toes. He buried his nose in her neck, and Simona wrapped her arms around him. She clung to him, not sure that he could lift her so easily. Now this is a tight hug. And then in an instant she found herself next to him. Simona stared at him in fascination. She waited for him to let go of her waist, but she was in no hurry to take her hands off him either. You're very strong. Oh no. Bye! Again. The awareness. That's a hot thing too.
That's not a compliment to me.
He just knows. You're unlikely to get a different one from me. Like I said, the bickering. Simona loosened her grip, but she didn't dare to let go of her gloomy source of support. We love to see his gloomy ass. It gives us a feeling of power. We're capable to get under this man's skin. We get him so upset. We get his panties in a twist. I love it. Without breaking physical contact, she ran her fingers along the collar of his shirt. She placed her hands on his broad shoulders, and she felt his muscles tense. Ah, you getting turned on? How much time does he spend in the gym? The shapes beneath the shirt only fueled her imagination. She's imagining having her hands in his pants too. It's so unfair for someone with a body like this to be so grumpy. I mean, allow him to be grumpy. That means that the love in the bedroom will be even more passionate. It's hard to resist accidentally placing my hand on his chest.
Are you holding on?
Yes, Daddy. Huh? Yes, are you? Ignoring her question, CASSIEL cast an equally interested glance over her figure. From the outside, we probably look like a couple of lost-struck teenagers, period. Allow them all to watch. They can all watch. See the fantasy world. Like, over the rainbow.
You found the situation amusing.
I find it hot. I don't know what you think. A little. What should I do next?
Get your legs over the other side and hold on tighter to the fence.
Letting go of the man's shoulder, Simona carefully pulled herself up. CASSIEL waited patiently for her to turn around as he held her by her forearms. With his strength, he could probably just throw me over it. What the fuck? What? I should stop smiling so much or I'll have to steam coming up my ears soon. After making sure that Simona was sitting upright and wouldn't fall, CASSIEL jumped softly to the ground. This man thinks we're always smiling because we love the fact that we are holding him off. And this man is so not having this. We're not doing shit. But you see, this is funny. You know when you actually manage to get under someone's skin? When you're just grinning and they think that you, whatever you're doing, even if you're not doing anything, you're making fun of them. They immediately believe that you are doing something. We're not doing shit, yet they still believe you're doing something. I love it. He held out his arms and waited expectantly. Should I jump?
Yes, I caught you.
Looking sideways at Raphael, Simona began to giggle. CASSIEL has a hard time admitting it, but he loves overcoming obstacles with you. Cute. They probably have to take a special course in Astrea where they learn how to catch falling people. However, seeing Raphael's sad face made her stop for some reason. Jealousy. I wonder what he's thinking about. That this was our moment and now it's happening with CASSIEL. Sorry. That's what happens when you play, bitches. As if to encourage her, Raphael smiled. Aww. As if to say that there was nothing wrong with this. And then his weak smile faded into his usual melancholy and Raphael looked away. You evoke conflicting feelings of Raphael. Oh no. This man, can you stop?
Oh my god, Simona, how long do I have to wait?
Son, you know how long a honeymoon is, right? Knowing exactly what the strong young man was capable of, Simona jumped without fear. CASSIEL caught her almost immediately and carefully set her down on the ground. It was hard not to draw a parallel between Raphael and CASSIEL, y'all. I be doing too much. I managed to beam both of their arms. Yes, I decided to claim dibs on all of them. Fight me in the comments, bitches. I dare you. Raphael's hands were gentle. Like their owner, they held back both his strength and his desires. This man on the other side does not. In CASSIEL's arms, Simona felt like a fragile figurine that he could accidentally break. Period. Completely different. I would have loved to get a picture though. Once on the other side, Simona dusted herself off and looked around. A tall dead elm immediately caught her eye. It stood alone among the other trees. Its bare branches stretched chaotically toward the sky as if in agony. From the side, it looked like brown snakes were wrapping around the trunk. What a creepy-looking tree. The dizziness returned, this time with a bout of nausea. For some reason, she didn't want to approach the tree.
What an oppressive aura, huh?
Cassiel walked silently to the elm and crouched over the whitest hollow. Simona watched her colleagues from afar. She tried to calm her pounding heart. What's wrong with me? You feel desire for both of them, that's fine. A panic attack overcame her, and she found it hard to breathe. Did you find something? Her voice trembled treacherously, but neither of them seemed to notice. They stared into the hollow, fascinated.
Yes, there were bones here. Or rather, what is left of them. They were badly burnt.
Unsure about what exactly was making her feel sick, Simona closed her eyes. It'll pass any minute now.
Any minute.
And Simona really did forget about how ill she felt, as someone's hand wrapped around her neck. Huh? Some choices have time limits. Think fast. What should I do? I reached for the pepper spray, period. With shaking hands, Simona tried to pull the pepper spray Felonia had given her out of her pocket, but immediately dropped it. Shit. The fuck is this man doing? He did not actually dare to come here with a gun.
Why did you have to come here?
Cassiel moved forward menacingly, but stopped as cold metal pressed against Simona's temple. The fuck? For a village where everyone believes so strongly in God, the locals sure have a lot of weapons. Cassiel looked questioningly at Raphael.
Should I use force? No need, don't scare him. With force, dumbass, one more step and I'll shoot.
Path of skepticism, Otto. You know there are more of us, and the police know where we are. Do you want to go to jail for murder, or do you want to calm down and talk about Val's disappearance?
You don't have enough cells to hold all the guilty. So you found the bones, huh?
And these were the bones from her. They burned her at the stake. I could actually kick this man in the nuts.
We did.
Listen.
Shut your mouth. Where are the other women? They're waiting for a warrant. Let them wait. In the meantime, we'll go on ahead and meet up with them in the barn, right, guys?
Otto finally released her neck, and the barrel of gun moved from her temple to just beneath her shoulder blades.
Go ahead, boys. The girl and I will be right behind you.
Hell no! And we're being leveraged. I hate when we are in a situation like this. Why can't we just find ways in order like to fuck someone up? Cassiel hid his rage poorly. Me. He clenched and unclenched his fist, not moving from where he stood.
If you don't let her go, I'll tear every limb from your body.
In love with Cassiel. Really are. Because me. If he doesn't shut up, Otto will definitely shoot me. Cassiel, just do what he says.
Don't be afraid, Simona. This idiot is the only one who should be scared here.
That's reassuring.
Put your weapon down. We're not going to resist. Don't scare her. You can be better than that. You ought to worry about yourself, smartass.
Simona met Raphael's gaze and saw no fear in it. This isn't a detective agency, it's a madhouse. Simona took a step forward and barely managed to stay on her feet. The ground began to swim out from under her with a new force.
Well, what did you stop?
One moment.
Not feeling too good, huh? Shouldn't have gotten involved with the witch's spawn.
This is nonsense. You killed an ordinary woman, not a witch.
I didn't kill anyone. I just told you what I saw. It was the locals who caught her by the elm tree and burned her.
And you let them do it?
A witch should be burned at the stake.
Y'all. The story is doing things to me.
Everybody knows that. You shouldn't have bothered me.
He doesn't look like a fanatic. He looks like a cunning businessman with no morals. If you didn't kill her, why did you point a gun at me? Trying to protect your neighbors? Without answering, Otto turned to a gun on Raphael.
Walk. Alright, we're going.
Cassiel peered thoughtfully into the thick bushes without moving. Right, because it's clearly the perfect time to be admiring the scenery. Why is he looking there? Is he expecting to see Felonia? The bushes moved and broad black snout emerged from the greenery. A wolf! Huh? Immediately forgetting about her, Otto jumped to the side.
Where did you come from?
Tuna froze and tried not to breathe. I think I'm dreaming. Witches, fanatics, wolves. What's next? Is a flying saucer going to fall on me? Period. Please do. The wolf growled menacingly.
Don't be afraid, Simona.
Are you not scared? His attempt to calm her down in this situation felt completely ridiculous. Wait! Is that Felonia? The eyes! The eye color! Oh god, stop. Stop! They're all a mixture of supernaturals. Is she a shapeshifter? Simona couldn't even tell what frightened her more. Her son's sickness, Otto with his gun, or the giant wolf.
They brought him with you. We don't even have squirrels in the forest. Where did the wolf come from?
Oh, this is our bitch. She's the queen. Otto slowly backed away, ready to shoot the animal. Oh, hell no.
Tell him to stand back or I'll shoot.
Frozen in horror, Simona turned to the man while also barely moving her head. Cassiel looked the wolf straight in the eye, and the wolf carefully peered back at him. Raphael was completely relaxed, casually watching Otto's pathetic attempt to retreat. What the hell is going on? They know that it's her. It's her, right? Simona could have sworn that Cassiel nodded slightly as a shot rang out behind her. The wolf pinned Otto to the ground and one leap, burying his fangs in his hand. Period. And we love her. Simona didn't even try to figure out where the bullet went. As she watched the wolf tear at the man's flesh, she seemed to forget even her own name. Only the wild screams, blood, and agony felt real. Am I losing it? Nah, this is very real. Oh no! Oh, no matter. This is all because of my strange illness, right? I think I'm so sick that I'm hallucinating. No, we ain't. Simona tried to approach her colleagues, but she couldn't move an inch. Fortunately, there was no need for that. Raphael and Cassiel appeared on either side of her. Oh my god, this is so good! But Simona didn't have time to be relieved at their presence. The wolf released the poor man and slowly raised his bloody snout. Now it's our turn. Otto lay unconscious. His entire arm was torn from his wrist to his shoulder. Period! If this isn't a dream, I'd really like to wake up. Nope, we do not. Because we are in for the kill. Especially with this little motherfucking bitch. Cassiel crouched down and reached out. What are you doing?
Thanks, buddy.
Cassiel's voice sounded unusually gentle, as if he was facing a frightened puppy instead of a wild predator. Simona shrieked as the wolf slowly approached them.
Don't be afraid, you hear? He won't harm you. He's not hungry. Hold out your hand.
Simona looked at the wolf in confusion, then at Cassiel. She was unable to utter a word. Am I the only one who sees the bloody on his face? He almost ate that jerk. But the wolf was completely calm, as though he hadn't just been tearing a man to shreds mere seconds ago. I mean, he was a bitch, he deserved it. I'd have to be as crazy as Cassiel to reach out to him. But the wolf buried his nose in Cassiel's hand like an ordinary dog, smearing human blood across his palm. He pulled away and looked at Simona with curiosity. It doesn't seem like he's going to eat us. Reach out! Simona couldn't believe she was actually doing this. Her hands were shaking so much that she felt awkward. He saved me. There was no longer even a hint of aggression in the beast's eyes. If he wanted to eat me, he would have done so by now. Tactfully, as if sensing her fear, the wolf touched her fingertips with his cold snout and then retreated. The beast was in no hurry to leave. He stood across from Simona and pricked up his ears. Sorry, I have nothing to give you. Trying not to think about why he wasn't hungry, Simona held out her hand to him again. At first, she just wanted to show him that she had nothing eatable on her, but the wolf obediently put his hand under her palm. Aww, like a regular dog. Her hand touched the soft fur between his ears. Are we getting a picture? Oh. Period. Simona stroked him, watching carefully for any change in the beast's mood, but he obviously enjoyed the attention. He narrowed his eyes and leaned lower, moving his face to the side to expose the right spots on her fingers. Thank you. The wolf looked up at her, demonstrating that it was no big deal.
I'll remember your scent, and he'll find you if he wants to.
I'm pretty sure I won't forget anything about today, for as long as I live, I would never be able to put any of this out of my mind, no matter how hard I try. The wolf remembered you. You will definitely meet him again. Who is it? Isn't it Felania? The wolf sniffed the air and took out one last look at Cassiel before disappearing into the bushes. Out softly, Simona looked at what was left of his arm and slowly sank to the grass. We need to call an ambulance. No. He gonna die. Someone's phone rang, but Simona couldn't tell who it belonged to. She could only make out parts of what RAPHAEL was saying over the overwhelming ringing in her ears. Cassiel picked up the gun and approached Ada, probably assessing his chances of survival. Seems like I was getting by on just adrenaline for the last few minutes.
Bad news, Felania found out why Otto was so afraid to let us on the property.
Simona wanted to remind them of the bones in the hollow, but she couldn't. She felt as if she would vomit if she opened her mouth. Her stomach crunched and a painful throbbing added to ringing in her ears.
It is dumping chemical waste into the river. All the water in the village is poisoned.
Poisoned? Relieved that she hadn't been cursed by a witch, Simona closed her eyes and lay down. Yeah, but she drank water. Of course, he framed Bavel so the villagers wouldn't poke around looking for answers. He's been poisoning them for so many years. One of the villagers gave us water.
Nora, can you hear me?
To be honest, I think I'm going to pass out. We've been poisoned. Y'all, is she slow? Simona wasn't sure if she had time to say it out loud or not. The excruciatingly difficult day finally came to an end, and a comforting darkness enveloped her. Bye. Y'all, this is not possible. How is it always... why is it always a thing that when we go on a mission, we are always the ones actually going down? I'm breaking down. This is not supposed to be happening. Like, we're supposed to be a strong-ass bitch. No, but we're causing actually for men to fight over us, and then we're a soft-ass bitch that can't do shit. Okay, fine. Like, us being poisoned is not our fault, but still. Now that we're a damsel in distress, let's have RAPHAEL and CASSIEL fight over who actually gets the chance to carry us out of the woods. But we will see what next episode will give us. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye!